Hello students, hope you all are well. Today in this video, we will study about agriculture in India. The topics that we would be covering in this video are definition and meaning of the term agriculture, types of farming, cropping pattern, major crops, technological and institutional reforms, contribution of agriculture to the national economy, food security, and impact of globalization on agriculture. Now, first, we have to know what is agriculture. Agriculture is the art and science of cultivating soil, raising crops, and rearing livestock, including animal husbandry and forestry. India is an agriculturally important country. Two-thirds of its population is engaged in agricultural activities. Agriculture is it's a primary activity which produces most of the food that we consume. Besides food grains, it also produces raw material for various industries. Now let us study about the different types of farming. Now, agriculture is an age-old economic activity in our country. Over these years, cultivation methods have changed significantly depending upon the characteristics of physical environment, technological know-how, and socio-cultural practices. Farming varies from subsistence to commercial type. At present in India, different types of farming systems are practiced. First, we will go to describe the primitive subsistence farming. Now, what is primitive subsistence farming? This type of farming is still practiced in few pockets of India. Primitive subsistence agriculture is practiced on small patches of land with the help of primitive tools like hoe, dhow, and digging sticks with the families and the community and the labor. This type of farming depends upon monsoon, natural fertility of the soil, and suitability of other environmental conditions to the crops grown. It is a slash and burn agriculture. Farmers clear a patch of land and then produce cereals and other food crops to sustain their family. When the soil fertility decreases, the farmers shift and clear fresh patch of land for cultivation. This type of shifting allows nature to replenish the fertility of the soil through natural processes. Land productivity in this type of agriculture is low as the farmer does not use fertilizers or other modern inputs. It's known by different names in different parts of the country. It is Jhuming. It's known as Jhuming in northeastern states like Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram, and Nagaland. Pamlu in Manipur. Deepa in Bastard district of Chhattisgarh and in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Next farming type is intensive subsistence farming. This type of farming is practiced in areas of high population pressure on land. It is labor-intensive farming where high doses of biochemical inputs and irrigation are used for obtaining high production. Though the right of inheritance leading to the division of land among successive generations has rendered landholding sites uneconomical, the farmers continue to take maximum output from the limited land in the absence of alternative source of livelihood. Thus, there is enormous pressure on agricultural land. Now, intensive subsistence farming aims at maximum possible production on limited farmland. It caters the need of the farmer's family and local market. Land holdings are small and preliminary mechanization is used. It's capable of raising one crop in a year. Practiced in thickly populated regions like regions of Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, parts of Rajasthan, and mainly crops grown under intensive subsistence farming are wheat, rice, and millets. Next, we go to the commercial farming type. The main characteristics of this type of farming is the use of higher doses of modern inputs. Example, high yielding variety seeds, chemical fertilizers, insecticides and pesticides in order to obtain higher productivity. The degree of commercialization of agriculture varies from one region to another. For example, rice is a commercial crop in Haryana and Punjab, but in Orissa it's a subsistence crop. Now, we move to another type of farming practice, which is very much under commercial farming category. It's the plantations. Plantation is also a type of commercial farming. In this type of farming, a single crop is grown on a large area. The plantation has an interface of agriculture and industry. Now, this line is very important. The plantation has an interface of agriculture and industry. What does that mean? Plantations cover large tracts of land using capital-intensive inputs with the help of migrant laborers. All the produce is used as raw material in respective industries. In India, tea, coffee, rubber, sugarcane, banana, etc. are important plantation crops. Tea in Assam and North Bengal, coffee in Karnataka are some of the important plantation crops grown in these states. Since the production is mainly for market, a well-developed network of transport and communication connecting the plantation areas, processing industries and markets plays an important role in the development of plantations. So then if you write this, then you can explain this line. The plantation has an interface of agriculture and industry. Hope you have understood my point. Next, we go to the different cropping patterns that are practiced in India. Now, the physical diversities and plurality of different cultures in India, you are very well known with that. These are also reflected in agricultural practices and cropping patterns in the country. Various types of food and fiber crops, vegetables and fruits, spices, etc. constitute some of the important crops grown in country. Now, India mainly has three cropping seasons: the Rabi crop, the Kharif crop, and the Zaid crop. That is Rabi season, Kharif season, and the Zaid season. Now, Rabi crops are sown in winter from October to December and harvested in summer from April to June. Some of the important Rabi crops are wheat, barley, peas, gram, and mustard. Though these crops are grown in large parts of India, states from the north and northwestern parts such as Punjab, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh are important for the production of wheat and other rabi crops. Now, availability of precipitation during winter months due to the western temperate cyclones helps in the success of these crops. However, the success of the Green Revolution in Punjab, Haryana, Western Uttar Pradesh, and parts of Rajasthan has also been an important factor in the growth of the rabi crops. Next, we go to the Kharif crop season. Kharif crops are grown with the onset of monsoon in different parts of the country, and these are harvested in September, October. Important crops grown during this season are paddy, maize, jowar, bajra, moong, arhar, urad, cotton, jute, groundnut, soybean. Some of the most important rice growing regions are Assam, West Bengal, coastal regions of Orissa, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Maharashtra, means almost all the states of India grows these kharif crops. Particularly the Konkan coast along with Uttar Pradesh, Bihar. Recently, paddy has also become an important crop of Punjab and Haryana, though it's cultivated commercially in Punjab and Haryana. In states like Assam, West Bengal, and Orissa, there are three crops of paddy grown in a year. That is, multiple cropping goes on in West Bengal, and the crop type is Aus, Aman, and Boro. These are all varieties of paddy. In between the Rabi and Kharif seasons, there is a short season during the summer months that is known as the Zayed season. Some of the crops produced during Zayed are watermelon, muskmelon, cucumber, vegetables, and fodder crops. Sugarcane takes almost a year to grow. So, hope you have understood the three cropping seasons practiced in India. Now, let us go to the major crops. Now, a variety of food and non-food crops are grown in different parts of the country depending upon the variations in soil, climate, and cultivation practices. Major crops grown in India are rice, wheat, millets, pulses, tea, coffee, sugarcane, oilseeds, cotton, jute, etc. Now, rice, wheat, millets, maize, pulses, those fall into the grain category. Sugarcane, oilseeds, tea, coffee, horticulture crops, they fall into the category of food crops other than grains. And rubber, fiber crops, cotton, jute fall into the non-food crop category. Now students, here's a chart provided to you for your benefit of learning. Often the questions come like, what are the geographical conditions required for the growth of rice or wheat or millets? So, if you have a tabular form of information where you have what type of crop it is, whether it's kharif or zayed or rabi crop, and what is the temperature required for its cultivation, rainfall or precipitation required, then soil type and its distribution, and then according to production, what rank does India hold in the world, and the different type of distribution all over the state. all these are depicted in a tabular form in this slide. You can go through, which will benefit your learning. Let us come to the next point, that is contribution of agriculture to the national economy and employment output. Now, the lessons drawn from the economic history of many advanced countries tell us that agriculture prosperity contributed considerably in fostering economic achievement. Now, it is correctly said that the leading industrialized countries of today were once predominantly agricultural, while the developing countries still have the dominance of agriculture and it largely contribute to the national income. In India, still 28% of national income comes from this sector. Now, this is very important. And agriculture has been the backbone of Indian economy, though its share in the gross domestic product, that is GDP, has registered a declining trend from 1951 onwards. In 2010-11, about 52% of the total workforce was employed by the farm sector, which makes more than half of the Indian population dependent on agriculture for sustenance. Now, the declining share of agriculture in the GDP is a matter of serious concern, because any decline and stagnation in agriculture will lead to a decline in other spheres of the economy, having wider implications for society. Now, considering the importance of agriculture in India, the government of India made concerted efforts to modernize agriculture. How? By establishing Indian Council of Agricultural Research, agricultural universities, veterinary services, animal breeding centers, horticulture development, research and development in the field of meteorology and weather focus, etc., were given priority for improving Indian agriculture. Apart from this, improving the rural infrastructure was also considered essential for the same. Now, what does the role played by agriculture in Indian economy? Agriculture contributes 2/3 of the national income. So there's a big share in the national income. Agriculture provides the largest employment to the Indian population. It provides food surplus to the expanding population. And in this process, it also contributes in the capital formation. Unless the rate of capital formation increases to a sufficiently high degree, economic development cannot be achieved. Now, since agriculture happens to be the largest industry in developing countries like India, it must play an important role in pushing up the rate of capital formation. It provides raw material to the industries, provides a market for industrial products, and it also has an importance in international trade. The three agriculture-based exports of India, cotton, textile, jute, and tea, accounts for more than 50% of export earning of the country. Now we come to the next topic, that is food security. Now you know that food is a basic need and every citizen of the country should have access to the food which provides minimum nutritional level. If any segment of our population does not have this access, that segment suffers from lack of food security. The number of people who do not have food security is disproportionately large in some regions of our country, particularly in economically less developed states with higher incidence of poverty. The remote areas of the country are more prone to natural disasters and uncertain food supply. In order to ensure availability of food to all sections of the society, our government carefully designed a national food security system. It consists of two components, the buffer stock and the PDS system, that is the public distribution system. Now, as you know, PDS is a program which provides food, grains and other essential commodities at subsidized prices in rural and urban areas. India's food security policy has a primary objective to ensure availability of food grains to the common people at an affordable price. Now, it has enabled the poor to have access to food. The focus of the policy is on the growth in agricultural production and on fixing the support price for procurement of wheat and rice to maintain their stocks. Now, Food Corporation of India is responsible for procuring and stocking food grains, whereas distribution is ensured by the PDS system. The FCI procures food grains from the farmers at the government announced minimum support price. The government used to provide subsidies on agriculture inputs such as fertilizer, power and water. These subsidies have now reached unsustainable levels and have also led to large scale inefficiencies in the use of these scarce inputs. Excessive and imprudent use of fertilizer and water has led to waterlogging, salinity and depletion of essential micronutrients in the soil. The high MSP subsidies in input and committed FCI purchases have distorted the cropping pattern. Wheat and paddy crops are being grown more for the MSP they get. Punjab and Haryana are foremost examples. This has also created a serious imbalance in the intercrop parities. Now, you already know that the consumers are divided into two categories, below poverty line BPL and above poverty line, that is APL. With the issue price being different for each category, however, this categorization is not perfect and a number of deserving poor have been excluded from the BPL category. However, some of the so-called APL slip back to BPL because of the failure of even one crop, and it is administratively difficult to accommodate such shifts. Now we come to the next topic, that is the impact of globalization on agriculture. Globalization is not a new phenomenon. It was there at the time of colonization in the 19th century when European traders came to India. At that time too, Indian spices were exported to different countries of the world and farmers of South India were encouraged to grow these crops. Till today, it is one of the important items of export from India. Now, during the British period, cotton belts of India attracted the British and ultimately cotton was exported to Britain as a raw material for their textile industries. Cotton textile industry in Manchester and Liverpool flourished due to the availability of good quality cotton from India. Now, under globalization, particularly after 1990, the farmers in India have been exposed to new challenges. Despite being an important producer of rice, cotton, rubber, tea, coffee, jute and spices, our agricultural products are not able to compete with the developed countries because of the highly subsidized agriculture in those countries. Hope you have understood this sentence, that we cannot compete with those developed countries because their government in those countries give highly subsidized agricultural facilities to the farmers. So they can keep the price of the product in the international market low compared to the farmers who could keep the price in the international market in India. Today, Indian agriculture finds itself at the crossroads. To make agriculture successful and profitable, proper thrust should be given to the improvement of the condition of marginal and small farmers. The Green Revolution promised much, but today it is under controversies. It is being alleged that it has caused land degradation due to overuse of chemicals, drying aquifers, vanishing biodiversity. The keyword today is gene revolution, which includes genetic engineering. In fact, organic farming is much in vogue today because it is practiced without factory made chemicals such as fertilizers and pesticides. Hence, it does not affect the environment in a negative manner. A few economists think that Indian farmers have a very bleak future if they continue growing food grains on the holdings that grow smaller and smaller as the population rises. India's rural population is about 600 million, which depends upon 250 million approximately hectares of agricultural land, an average of less than half a hectare per person. Indian farmers should diversify their cropping pattern from cereals to high value crops. This will increase incomes and reduce environmental degradation simultaneously, because fruits, medicinal herbs, flowers, vegetables, biodiesel crops like jatropha and jojoba need much less irrigation than rice or sugarcane. India's diverse climate can be harnessed to grow a wide range of high-valued crops. Nevertheless, the impact of globalization is immense. Globalization and greater competition among producers has been an advantage to consumers. Greater choice before consumers have come along. Availability of standard quality products at lower price is there. There is an overall improvement in the living standard. Foreign investments have increased in many areas like cell phones, automobiles, electronics, soft drinks, etc. New jobs have been created. At the same time, several of the units have shut down, rendering many workers jobless. Globalization has also created insecurity of jobs. Nevertheless, India's diverse climate can be harnessed to grow a wide range of high-valued crops. This is the map showing the rice cultivation, that is top 10 rice producing states of India. In your NCERT book also you will have the several maps on rice and wheat, and you will have to practice the maps on the different food crops and non-food crops. Hope you have understood the lesson, students. If there is any doubt, please revert. Thank you.